Bubble boy.
Yeah.
Bubble boy. It's incorrect. Has to take steroids.
If there's one set of fans I would not with, it's the Bills.
Children, please. You got a whole life.
Yeah.
Let's buckle up here.
All I want for Christmas is for LeBron James and Serena Williams to have a baby for science.
She must have been on suicide watch when she saw Gronk dent that thing. We're all going to die.
Smash that like button or I'm going to get kicked out of the house. I can't pay rent.
Welcome back to Sports on Tap. I'm your host, James Laney, with my co-host, Kyle Johnson.
What's going on?
And my co-host, Ryan Fahey.
Top of the morning to you.
Okay, so while we're a little happy St. Patrick's Day while wearing green, thought we'd get in the festivities of it. But, let's get right into the swing of things. Cam Newton back with the Patriots. What do you boys think?
I like it, honestly. You made a good point that I didn't think about until you made the point. Wide receivers want to know who's throwing them the ball, and I don't think Jared Stidham is an exciting option whatsoever.
Not at all.
We have the money, and it's like, I don't see why not give Cam Newton another chance. Actually get him some weapons. Hunter Henry, please, if you're somehow watching this, New England would love to have you. Yeah, I like it. I understand it. If it doesn't work out, it's what, 14 mil? Who cares? On a 1-year deal.
Incentive. It's heavily incentive.
Yeah, it's like 5 mil without incentives.
Yeah.
So my thing on it is I'm not ecstatic about it because of how poorly he played, and we talked about it earlier before the show. You can't put it all on him because, like you said, the weapons he had, the whole COVID season, half the defense being gone. So it's like, I don't put everything on Cam's shoulders because of last year because that's just not fair. But my thing is he did not wow me a lot last year. So, but it's a necessity sign because, like I said before, if you want to bring free agents coming in, which, like, the Patriots are going to be big players, making, like, with $65 million, they have the money to spend. They have to know who's throwing them the ball. Whether it's Cam Newton. If they know it's Cam Newton, great. And they like Cam Newton, then it's like... Because don't get me wrong, I love Cam Newton. I shouldn't say I love. I like Cam Newton. He's a really good guy overall. He's a hard worker. I don't hate the guy, so that's why I'm cool with him getting another opportunity. I'm really cool because it's a cheap contract. But if the Patriots don't make a move or draft a quarterback...
You know we will.
Draft a quarterback in the first round, just because Cam Newton is not the long-term guy. And the Patriots need a long-term guy, so I'd like to see them draft a quarterback.
I mean, I love me some Cam, though. I do. I like, literally, as the guy, I love Cam, but his performance last season was just so suspect. Now, what was he throwing to? Like, that's the whole question. What was he throwing? Like, your number one can't be Edelman. You're not Tom Brady.
The
Tom Brady
bones
was
of
the only
Edelman, yeah.
one. Tom Brady was the only one who can make Julian Edelman like a true number one. Like,
Well, he's also, don't forget, Edelman's also, that man has been rocked more times than anybody else in the league.
Which is even more of a case where he cannot be your number one.
No.
He was literally on one
I don't
leg.
even think he was the number one.
He really was.
He was the best, he was the most talented receiver we had, but he wasn't,
He was number one.
Eh.
That means he's
It's
number
weird
one.
because, like, Gronk was the number one, even though he's not a receiver, but, like, Gronk was that good where it's like Gronk's your number one.
Well, yeah, prime
But
Gronk
like,
is
if you go on like
a different
receiver,
breed.
he's going to be. But like option, Edelman would be number 2, Gronk number 1 in that whole thing.
I see what you're getting at there.
Regardless.
But you can't have a one-legged Edelman who's getting like basically like the whole defense is like, yeah, hey, just cover Edelman.
None of these other guys can get
all
open.
these other guys can't do anything.
Yeah.
So that was Cam's options when he tried to throw the ball. The only time he was even good was against Seattle, and that secondary is basically just Swiss cheese.
Garbage.
Yeah.
So like he did what he was supposed to do. But
It's a nice little analogy there. I like that.
Every other time he tried to play a good team or like a decent team with an okay defense, they just doubled Edelman before he got hurt and just didn't play the rest of the season. They just doubled Edelman and then
Yeah, and then after Edelman wasn't playing, it was over.
If
there was
Cam
no
wasn't
chance.
running the ball, I was holding my breath.
Honestly.
And at some point late in the season, I was like worried even with him running the ball because he fumbled versus Buffalo. I was like.
Well, the best part about him running the ball too, or even the season we had last year, is like obviously it was a shit show, but there were a lot of close games. There were a lot of games that, the Seattle game I remember in particular was literally one play away.
You know what's even crazier? The bigger what if I have is the one game he didn't play against Kansas City. Because I remember watching that game and being like, oh, it was still a close game, and we didn't even we had Hoyer in. Yeah, so we had Hoyland, and we were told. I'm not saying Cam Newton would have won that game easily, but if you're saying that he was your number one option, and he could have potentially beat the guys that made it to the Super Bowl,
that's what I mean.
So I just don't love the signing because
I saw
Cam Newton
glimpses.
was so underwhelming. There were a few glimpses through the year. I have to give him that, and he didn't have anyone to throw to. So if the Patriots can get him some weapons to actually work with, because that O-line, stacked.
Oh,
Well,
that O-line's
Because David
nasty.
Andrews, you brought up, David Andrews will most likely be coming back because they have the money.
We have the money to low-key go get Andrews and Thuney again. And then at that point...
No, you need weapons.
No, because
I agree we need weapons.
Yeah,
I'm just saying we
Tooney's
could.
going to cost you at least 14.
Yeah.
Tooney's looking for big money.
Which I think he
gonna,
earns.
and he's going to get it.
But he does.
And here's the thing. If you had to choose between the two of them, you're going to choose Andrews because when Andrews got hurt, Tooney hasn't missed a snap. Keep in mind, he's never missed a snap. He's just one of those dudes.
Yeah.
When Andrews broke his thumb and he missed those, 4 weeks, that offensive line just looked completely it was that big of a difference. He's that athletic. He's that good at what he does. It's just you need, especially getting Trent Brown, moving Wynn to guard, which is where he was.
Getting Trent Brown back for nothing
which is where
huge.
he was in college. Keep in mind, Wynn was a guard, so he was just thrown in the tackle. It was just, but getting Trent Brown back on a pay cut to
huge
big time. That offensive line is gross.
Yeah.
Gross. The entire thing. Cam Newton's going to feel very comfy.
Well, who's running the ball back there? I know James White's a free agent.
Damian Harris.
Yeah.
I like him.
I want to wait and see
what you mean.
Don't get me wrong. Add a little more depth. Knowing them, they'll probably go draft a guy randomly or find some random free agent that no one knows about, and then turn.
Taylor, baby.
Oh, J.J. Taylor too. He was good.
Dude.
It's the Patriots filter through running back, so that is not a concern I have.
Yeah, running backs
at all.
Okay.
The Patriots, they don't ever look for the guy at running back. They look for the committee running backs. Yeah. They look for specialty players. James White. He's not really phenomenal at running it, but catching out of the backfield, he's pretty good.
Yeah,
LeGarrette Blount, power back. You know what I mean? Not that he's played for years, but they look for specialty guys. They don't look for a guy that can do it all. They look for guys that can, if you put them all together, it'd be a great running back. That's what I've always been a big committee guy rather than being the man kind of guy. Because if Derrick Henry went down, okay, your run game's done over in Tennessee.
Dion.
You know what I mean? If James White goes down, yeah, you're throwing out the backfield. It's not as good, but you still have a good run game. Yeah. That's what I like.
Well, that's what we're going to be this year. We're going to be a ground and pound. The defense is going to be back to what it was. At least, even if Gilmore's gone, even if we don't have Gilmore, J.C. Jackson, like we were talking earlier, J.C. Jackson's still a number one corner. So it's not like we're not going to have a shutdown guy or a guy who can guard people's best matchups.
You know who I wouldn't be shocked if they brought back? Because if they trade Gilmore, you're going to have to fill in that hole.
Say Malcolm Butler.
Malcolm Butler. No, because I think he would come on a cheap deal. He worked in the system. I'm not saying he'd be our number one again.
He's kind of booty hole now, though.
I'm just saying he works well in the system, but if you could get him for a veteran minimum, I'm not saying sign the guy to a big deal. It's a 1-year thing. Clearly, that is so low on the list. I'm not even saying.
Literally,
I just see that being such a Bill move where it's oh, you want to come back? You know what I mean?
No, literally, if you were to bring back Butler, it's got to be a low money.
But that's how it would be.
Only because the main focus here is wide receivers.
Oh, 100%.
I worry. I don't know what's gonna happen because this happens a lot with the Patriots where I get my hopes up and then when I wanted them to draft Lamar Jackson twice and they didn't. They drafted Sony Michel and Isaiah Wynn. I was there's a chance. They looked at him and they talked to him, and then they just didn't. Yeah, that was fun. So it's stuff like this happens all the time. I just don't know if they're actually gonna pull the trigger.
When's the last time we had this many opportunities though? And the reason I said we have $60 million cap, a third of the league isn't even.
That's what's crazy.
Competing in free agency because they can't afford to. So the league just shrunk by a third basically with all these free agents. We have 9 picks.
No, there's some real opportunity because with the cap dropping, and we'll get a little more into this later, drops 8%. So it went from 198 to 182 million. So that's a big drop. So people are planning for 192.
Yeah.
I mean, the
we
Saints,
can pay
the Saints
everybody.
are the number one team, and we'll get into the Saints later. But they had to cut Emmanuel Sanders and Jared Cook, 2 good players.
Janoris Jenkins too.
All guys on their tail end, I will say, tail end of their career, but still talented guys. It's just
they're still good pieces.
I wouldn't mind having them on the team.
Yeah, of course.
So it's just things like that. Like you said, a third of the league
isn't even participating. Yeah,
won't participate. Green Bay Packers is another one. They've come out and said we're not going to be heavy in this free agency. They don't have the money.
Yeah, nobody does.
Especially now since they signed Aaron Jones to that big 4-year deal
for $48 million for 4 years.
Yeah,
ton of money.
5 years, I think.
Was it? No, okay.
I think.
So, but that's the thing where the Patriots, they have to play everything right. And that's why I think signing Cam Newton they had to do it, because if you're going to hit this free agency, people have to know who's throwing the ball.
I think the big thing, this is the year that makes Belichick look kind of like a genius. Like, if everyone was shitting on Belichick last year, this is the year everyone goes, oh no, the Patriots are back. Like, I really think, especially if we go out and get something like, even on like the tail end of like, I don't know, Curtis Samuel and a tight end.
Dude, I would love
Juno
Curtis
Smith.
Samuel on this team. Not gonna like
Curtis Samuel and Juno Smith. Bang, bang.
Just
draft one of the Alabama wide receivers, call it a day.
If they could get either of them at 15,
that
they are.
I don't think they'll drop at 15, but with 9 picks and all the capital we'll have,
they might trade up.
Smith is probably going top 5. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
but that's the thing.
Probably.
The Patriots have.
I'll even take Waddle though.
I'll just take Waddle. He says.
I mean,
If he drops,
I'll take Waddle.
People are saying he's the closest thing to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I'll give me some of that.
That's the thing. That's the thing that's crazy about Jalen Waddle, and I don't think. And this is why I am so skeptical on Mac Jones, because Mac Jones doing wrong. I know everyone's like, oh, he's a first round quarterback.
That little pudgy motherfucker.
This is my thing. Devontae Smith just won Heisman. Unbelievable. At the beginning of the year, he was their number 2 option. Waddle was their number 1. So theoretically, Mac Jones had two Heisman wide receivers at one point in the season.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not as high on Mac Jones. I'm skeptical. But, like, that's just how good these receivers are coming out of Bama recently.
And that's always how it's been.
Oh, it's more recent since Julio Jones.
Yeah, exactly. But then, like...
That's it. And that was 09. It's been a long time.
But where have those Alabama quarterbacks gone?
Oh, the quarterback. That's the thing. The only exception...
I thought AJ McCarron was pretty good. Turns out he
was the closest thing.
I thought he was pretty good. Turns out, no.
Jalen Hurts
loved
and Tua...
AJ McCarron.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts and Tua are the only guys that might be able to break the bad Alabama streak. That's just what
I consider Hurts an Oklahoma guy now. Anyway,
would you? I mean, he played at Alabama.
He lost the job at Tua. Yeah,
went to Oklahoma and turned into a stud.
Okay, so that's the thing. It's just Alabama quarterbacks. I mean, it's kind of switching over, but that's why I'm skeptical if it came down to the 15th pick. If it was Mac Jones or one of those receivers,
I'm taking the receivers all day.
I would probably take a receiver, and then I'd probably still draft a quarterback later on.
Market's going to be flooded next year, anyways. The good thing with signing Cam and extending Jarrett Stidham is it buys us more time on a quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, if we suck this year and it's like, okay, now this experiment with Cam Newton is totally failed. Dude, we got him weapons, we got whatever. Like, it still puts us in a prime position next season to go out and get somebody, because the market's going to be flooded.
We say we would like them to go draft a stud wide receiver like that, but keep in mind, this is the same Bill.
Oh yeah, we're trading out of the first.
No, not just that, not just that. This is the same Bill who said that Julio Jones wasn't going to do anything. He said that. He said that. He some guy asked Bill, like another coach in the league, and just asked for his opinion on Julio Jones. He was just like, "Yeah, don't stay away from that."
Maybe he was trying to get him to fall.
I don't think so. I don't think so, because Bill hasn't picked enough. Because Bill haven't picked.
Have you seen this man, Bill? Are you shitting me?
Listen, because Bill
6'5", the speed of light.
Bill hasn't picked enough star special talent like that.
Hey,
enough. No.
Don't shit on N'Keal Harry like that.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
My boy, Sony Michel.
Yeah. Come on. You hit on every first-round pick he's ever made.
Shut your mouth. God.
It's just, but that's what I mean. Like,
this is what's going to happen.
It's what makes me nervous about this whole thing. Like, I can't wait for free agency. I can't wait for it.
Tampering starts at noon today.
Good thing we're recording beforehand.
I love it. Yeah, we might record again tomorrow. But either way.